see.
Let's talk about the...
Are we live?
Let's right now.
We're
Talk about the...
pre-gaming still,
What'd you
Neil.
just say? What'd you just say?
Can we talk about the fucking train?
We can. I mean...
He normally doesn't hear F-bombs.
The train's flying now, actually.
Well, that's why... By the way,
TC,
welcome back, everybody.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you see yourself sitting in a train, in a seat in a train, 20 years from now?
First off, we have flying cars.
We saw those guys.
So we'll talk about it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
All right?
Yeah.
If you want to talk about it later on, okay, fine.
First District Supervisor of Santa Cruz, number 1.
First District.
Manu Koenig's back.
This is the first time he's been on when he's not...
Number
TC.
4. Number 4.
Hey, time flies.
This is the first time he's been on where he's not vying to be elected for anything. He's just coming on as a bro.
It's not about the signs.
No.
Who's stealing them and crap, right?
Well, I was like, isn't it like Thanksgiving? Time to go hang out with these guys.
Well, welcome back to the show.
Where did Whitman go?
You are a supervisor in Santa Cruz County. You've been doing it for a bit.
Almost 4 years.
Do you regret it?
Oh, not at all. No, it's a great job.
Love your gig.
Pluses and minuses, but yeah, like it.
All politics, you keep half happy and half probably are not happy. It's just how politics work.
As long as it's 50% plus 1,
right.
You're okay.
You're doing okay. Is the toughest part about your job would be?
Being blamed for decades-old problems that I had nothing to do creating, and I'm trying to solve, but apparently, not always fast enough.
What's an example of a decades-old problem?
Oh, I mean, well, the housing prices,
of course,
for example.
number 1.
I mean, that thing is, we've been working... We caused the problem over, starting in the 70s, and now it's become extremely acute, and it's leaking to all kinds of things, from healthcare to education. I mean, our schools are at 50% capacity, some of them, right? There's just not enough young families, not enough students, but can't solve it fast enough, and when you do try to solve it, you're making someone unhappy.
And I also feel like you're kind of a supervisor of Beverly Hills, too. Like, it's like when it comes to housing, like, let's talk about homeless in Beverly Hills. I feel like it's a little bit of that kind of situation.
Well, the interesting thing about the district is you got like really both sides of the
Hang
tracks,
on.
right?
Hold it.
Yes. Are you putting a stop to our show?
Hold it. Okay. Hold everything right here.
Stop the press.
Hold it. I gotta ask you a question. Okay. The bottom of 38th Avenue stairs, okay, has these goddamn rocks. They're like the size of the frickin'... It should be in Egypt with the pyramids, for Christ's sake.
Basically what he's saying is
Right?
screw housing, screw
I
schools.
don't know.
What's up with my rocks?
I'm sorry. I don't give a shit about that right now. Okay, my rock, my entryway to where I surf and where he surfs,
Did
and
we
where
say
he
your
surfs
HOA down there? Do you have an
Fuck
HOA down there?
There's no HOA.
Okay.
There's no HOA anything.
Yeah,
No
county
HOA.
parks. County parks. I'm
County
responsible,
Park.
Yeah.
Could you just get down there with a little tractor, something to just remove them to one side so we can have a nice entryway into our surf spot?
Okay, you would like the rocks removed, is what I'm hearing. Okay. Yeah.
Is that high on your priority
Do
list?
we have to call the Coast Guard? Do we have to call Justin
Where's that
Cummings?
rank?
Do we
On
have to
your
call
rank?
Justin Cummings and have him come along and just check him out? Like,
that is somewhere near like middle. To, no, I
We
hear
went
you.
below the camera. So what you're saying is Neil's got to be more nimble.
How big are these rocks?
that's just the size of the damn. Get my size of my damn
These
car.
are large rocks that you're trying to
Hey,
navigate.
hang
that
on,
are
right
problematic.
here, right here. How big are the
Yeah.
rocks?
Yeah.
Big.
Okay. I'll look into it.
I got a new idea. How about
What?
we do adopt a rock?
I
Neil, you can
love
adopt a rock,
Adopt
and
a rock.
your rock can be put in prison.
I
We'll
love
take
that.
all the rocks that everyone
Adopt a
adopts.
rock.
Yeah, adopt a rock.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll get a crane out there.
Yeah.
We
So
get-
you're a strong guy. If you want to
Yeah.
help lift the
No, I mean,
rocks,
would yeah.
I want you to spearhead this. I want you to adopt the first
Adopt a rock.
Yeah, so let's figure out with county. How
I love that, TC.
Yeah, and you know what's even better? Let's not put them in prison. Let's just move them out of the way.
Yeah, just put him over
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
Why
Yeah.
are they right there? You can't get down. It's like it's like the slippery. People getting. It's so
You
hard
get
to
to
get.
pick out the first rock, and you can name it. What would you name? What would you name your rock?
TC.
All right, you get to go pick out your first rock. Can we just? Is that possible,
Okay.
dude?
Wait.
Yeah, I think-
dude,
I
you
think-
gotta
No,
go-
I
we
would
have
name it. I would name it Officer Manu's next grandchild.
Oh.
What's the one he's right
My daughter's a year and a half, so she's going to be at least 20 years.
Okay, so
now.
hold it.
Why?
We'll apply
Hopefully.
for that permit. We'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Manu,
Let's see.
you have projects that you've been spearheading in this county. I know housing is number one. Are we up to speed with what the state is demanding for us as far as housing goes in your district?
I mean, we are up to speed. I mean, literally today.
Dude,
we
you're up to
rezoned-
speed because it looks like fucking Manhattan downtown.
We're not talking about that. We're talking
you're-
about
we're
talking
talking-
about District One right now.
So we literally rezoned 27 parcels today. I mean, and I think
Where?
26 of them are in the first district. I mean, we got
Yeah.
2 over here on
Right.
Thompson. We got, a few on Chanticleer
Yeah.
by the park. We got some up on the top of 41st. So, I mean, it's absolutely happening. I mean, I think as people actually see these projects being built, there's going to be a lot of strong feelings about it. I mean, what I'm hearing from people is like, well, why are you putting it here, right? I mean, the projects
Not
that
in
sort
my
of emerged,
backyard
right?
type thing?
Right. And like, why don't we put it in downtown Santa Cruz? And what I have to explain is, well, no, they've got their number 2. Right, they, as you pointed out, the Manhattanization of downtown Santa Cruz.
That's a new word. I love the new word, Manhattanization.
I mean, what are they going up to 8 stories downtown Santa Cruz?
It's like.
But that's like
TC, hang on a second. Hang on.
about 12.
Hold on. You had a problem in your house, right? What was it a red tag? You got a red tag.
I did. Yeah.
Well, for what?
Well, in the 70s, my house had some modifications.
Okay, so
that
what you
yeah.
got a red. You recently you got a red tag. What was it for?
It was for a master bedroom that was added onto the house without a permit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we're working on it, and it's work. I talked
How
about
about
it.
all the stuff going on downtown when it's like.
Why can't we just let basic people build, right? I mean, that's
There
what
we
you're
go.
gonna get, isn't it, Neil? And hey, I agree with you.
Yo.
I 100% agree. And
Help.
we're gonna do it. And you know what? We're actually gonna use AI for good with this.
You guys are using
No,
AI?
serious. Yeah, no, I'm excited about rolling out an AI pre-plan check program so that, like, right now everyone's complaining, well, like, geez, you don't accept my application, it takes too long to review it. Okay, we'll have AI review it about 500 times before a person gets to it, and it'll like as many plans as you want to submit, we'll get it done.
Go.
I don't think any community has an easy chain of command when it comes to development nowadays. There's regulation is regulation. But let's talk about District 1.
Oh.
And we'll go downtown.
Come on.
We'll work our way downtown.
Sure.
That's not in your saddle. But as far as your District 1, and you said that we're up to speed with housing.
Well, sure. Okay, let's define for everyone who's listening what District 1 is, right? I mean, it's basically Live Oak, Pleasure Point, SoCal, goes up to the summit, but it's literally between the cities of Santa Cruz and Capitola, right? And so it's effectively an urban area, even though it's in an unincorporated part of the county. I mean, it is. As a county supervisor, I also have the joy of essentially being the mayor and only council member of Live Oak and Pleasure Point and SoCal, right? And so what we're seeing,
The buck stops with you.
for better or worse, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was actually just looking at how do you describe what's going on with the state today, right? It's like sort of the buck stops elsewhere,
Right.
because like the state is imposing all the requirements, but experiences none of the penalties. Those are all pushed onto the local government. Anyway, what we are going to see is that upper 41st, right where the Home Depot is and everything, that's actually an unincorporated area. That area along SoCal Drive, we're seeing a lot of these sort of state assigned numbers in that area in particular.
Yeah.
And we are going to start seeing some 5- and 6-story buildings there.
And there's one on the corner of SoCal and 41st recently approved, right? Is that
No.
Wait.
Whoa. They haven't even applied.
Okay. Well,
But they're talking about
Okay,
it. Right?
and
You slipped in the 5 or 6 building where?
5- or 6-story buildings. 41st in SoCal.
Yep.
Right. They're talking about a 6-story
but-
building there.
across from Home Depot?
Yeah.
Right.
Where
Where the old King Paint was. And then on Thurber and SoCal, kind of across from the Wells Fargo, where you could pick up a Christmas tree.
But hang on.
if you wanted.
But what happened to our little town? What happened to this? How old are you? How old are you?
39.
39.
He's becoming
Well,
a
see,
senior.
that's just it,
But
right?
you see,
People are like,
do you remember our downtown, a little town downtown?
Sure.
Some music, Right?
But by the way, just to interject in that, we had Fred Keeley here last week.
Yeah.
What did Fred Keeley say about downtown?
Tell
That's
me.
where you build tall buildings with housing. That's what Fred Keeley said.
Yeah.
The current mayor of Santa Cruz told us, do you
Yeah.
want it in your backyard or do you want it downtown? Because no matter what happens,
Yeah.
we're going to build it, right? You need it.
We're being required to build it. And,
Exactly.
And we do need it because otherwise there's not going to be any kids left to fill the schools.
I will inject
Yeah.
that he did put a zinger in to UCSC. Do your share.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're working on it.
Yeah,
You
they're
know,
trying, but
just
there are a
do
lot of
nothing.
our...
Is that your district?
No.
No, thank you.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's,
Thank
that's
Judy.
Justin. Yeah, that's
We
Justin's
heard that.
problem.
And can I inject another little thing in this? I recently saw that we're working on a plan to be able to have single lot ownership be split. Is that something
What?
we're working on right now?
Yes, and we approved that today as well.
Okay.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah,
so
Look at
it's,
you do your homework.
Well, no, I'm paying attention.
it's implementing a state law called SB 9. It's like urban lot split. So basically, actually, one single family lot can now become 4 units. It can become 2 primary dwellings and 2 ADUs.
Okay, so just thinking about
Two-
about this as a longtime property owner in Pleasure Point. And recently I did get approved for an ADU on my property. Thank you for your work in allowing me to do that.
Did you go to him?
No,
I didn't have to.
I didn't
No.
get a text, and that's
No,
great.
I know. I honestly, I
You did it on your own?
actually hired Dennis Norton to help me do this, the
Right.
former mayor of Capitola, to help me on this project. But it was approved because of the work that you've been doing to help get ADUs done. I'll give you that prop. But to some of my friends who have been longtime property owners here in Pleasure Point, the thought of being able to legally create some rental income for themselves on their property at a time when our new president is saying, I'm going to screw your Social Security, is really eye-opening to me for these people that are, and we're living in an expensive town. I think that's commendable to be able to do that. How soon does that take effect?
Within the next 30 days.
So people currently, and what's the, just quick, I don't want to bore anybody with this, but if you have, how big is it, a lot requirement? Is there, I mean, there's got to be some.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the exact minimum lot size. I want to say it's like 1,300 feet. I mean, it's pretty small. I mean, granted, when you're taking a lot and splitting it in 2, one of the lots can't be like smaller than 40% of the original lot, so you can't make really uneven sized lots. But yeah, I mean, effectively you could split even a 3,000 square foot lot, which is small, right? I mean, the bigger, like, there are some limitations around demolition if you've been using it for rentals, etc. And so you probably run into some limits there. But yes, I mean, the basic idea is to try to let people who have been living here, who are looking for additional rental income, who are looking for ways to stay here and continue to thrive here, help their families live here, to do just that.
And it seems to me, and I think a lot of viewers will agree, affordable rent is kind of first-time renters. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of it is we. As an example, my kids left this community because they couldn't afford to rent here. And so I feel like the additional beds that we're going to put on these homes are going to be more affordable, right? Is that the plan?
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll be more affordable. I mean, let's just ground truth this. Right now, a 2-bedroom will rent for like $3,500 a month.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Sure.
it's expensive.
Yeah.
So I think the kind of units we're talking about adding will be more affordable for a couple of reasons. I mean, one, we create more supply, but 2, they're actually like, the landlord is someone who just lives here and is not trying to price gouge and is not like trying to pay back investors for millions of dollars on a huge building, right?
Right,
So
right.
I do think that that's why this kind of the lot split approach, that the ADU approach is ultimately going to be better for our community as far as adding incremental housing.
I'd like to just inject one thing also into the ADUs, and I was happy that my garage could be turned into an ADU. I have 2 parking spots in my driveway, and I have 3 parking spots in front of my house. But they're actually requiring me to pave over my grass to make another parking spot off the street. And that kind of killed me because I know, not talking District 1, but downtown, there is not a parking spot for every place they're building downtown. And so I was a little disappointed in that with my ADU.
That might be like a coastal zone.
I don't know,
requirement,
yeah,
actually.
but I was
you
like,
can thank the coastal
damn, I
commission
got
for
to
that.
pave my grass over now and park a car in front of my front door, which works. It works.
I don't know.
But I'm saying it's like, you know, when I have,
You're not actually even renting it. You're just like trying to. Well,
I'm keeping it. It's actually we'll see what my plans are with it. But to have it be approved to be an ADU, I'll determine later what my use will be of it. But I was a little disappointed to see that it required
But
so much more
are you
parking.
being policed by? Who are you being police by?
Well,
The
the
planning
planning department,
county
in terms
Santa
of
Cruz,
issuing
yeah.
the permit.
And you know what? So historically on my house, I would, if I wanted to replace a window, I'd just replace a window. You know, it didn't really bother me. But there's so much redevelopment going on, I decided to go, let's get a permit on this one. And I found out that the house has dumb things, but I'm going to fix it because it's an investment.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And
So I'm gonna fix it correctly. I'm gonna add an ADU, which will help the state, our requirements for the state of California, and do it right. Let's circle back, and I want to talk about. You ready for this one?
Go.
Can you explain?
Whitten, here we go. Here we go.
Can you
Whitten.
explain to me what's going on Highway 1? Because I'm so confused about the bus lane.
Sure.
And how many buses are going to use the bus lane, and is it a public lane? And I hear people.
So primarily, what's getting built is an
Why are you putting a
auxiliary
brick?
lane.
A what?
An auxiliary lane.
Okay.
Which means that you can't drive on it forever. It goes from one entrance to the next exit, right? So think like Morrissey to SoCal.
It's a long off ramp.
It's a long off ramp that gets off at the next, or a long on ramp that gets off at the next on.
And it's also a cheater row for all the cheaters that want to speed up and.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, but I mean, the idea being that also people use Highway 1 as a way to get around town, right? I mean, I get on at 7th and drive to 41st to get to go to Home Depot, right? And so Highway 1 acts as a local road too, and so those auxiliary lanes will actually help facilitate that kind of travel. It'll also allow people to get off the highway faster.
But I don't understand that bridge that was built across Highway 1. Where was it from? Where's it going to?
You talking about the Whale Bridge?
Yeah, the bridge.
Yeah.
No, that's
Whale
that's
Bridge.
actually a good cross. I like that. First off, I think it's. Do you have any say in what happened with that?
It was approved before my time. I'm excited to see it open. I've walked up on it. I mean, it's a great gentle grade, nice and wide. And what it's doing is connecting North Live Oak. I mean, an area that many people are like, is this Live Oak? Yes, that's still Live Oak. We built a freeway through Live Oak, by the way, a few decades ago.
Can I tell you about my former life when I built surfboards? There's actually a sewer. There's a culvert that goes under the highway there. That's how I used to cross the highway to go to work.
It's where?
There's a culvert under Highway 1 there.
A sewer culvert.
A sewer.
So you were deep in shit.
So you're
No.
like a Ninja Turtle.
No, literally, I was. I'm telling you. Yes.
Hi, hold on.
I worked. John Mell's surfboard factory was on
John
Thompson.
Mell-
It was on Thompson Avenue.
John Mell
Which
is not getting in a bunch of shit.
REI.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
so I rode my bike there every night from right here in Pleasure Point. And
Come
the
on,
shortcut
Come
was
on.
to go through
No,
the culvert.
Come on. That's bullshit.
Well, that's great.
That's true. That's not bullshit.
Well,
it's a true story, dude.
Is that culvert still accessible?
It's probably.
I don't know.
Yeah, I seriously, it could be.
Well, now you got a whale bridge.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a true story. And I do like the whales on that bridge.
Me too. It really classes up the place.
My wife likes those whales.
Yeah, and we're going to get another bridge, I think with some sea
Another?
stars. Yeah.
Whoa,
yeah,
whoa, whoa.
well, Capitola.
The one that's
Avenue.
being repaired.
Yeah,
Right. Okay.
that, where they're putting the big retaining walls, They're going to replace that bridge.
Let me ask you a question. How old are you?
I told
39.
You, 39.
Do you think you'll be riding a train during your lifetime? You're 39 right now.
I like trains. I
Yeah,
ride
do you
lots
think
of trains. I've ridden them to Sacramento. But
I-
in this community, no.
In your lifetime?
No. I don't think...
No.
Yeah, I mean, we've been...
I agree with you. Why do you say no?
We are elbows deep in a train study right now,
Right.
and it's really showing all the complications. Okay, we just learned that you basically have to make the train elevated to go by the boardwalk because you've got all these people crossing to go to the boardwalk constantly, right? And if you're trying to run a passenger train through there every 15 to 30 minutes, it's a serious health hazard, right? I mean, someone could easily get hit by the train. So in order to prevent that, you got to elevate the train where people can now walk under it freely, right? That's what's called a grade separated crossing. Oh my God!
That's millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
Does that kind of
Hang on. 1 second.
Yeah.
Millions.
No, maybe even billions.
Billions.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and of course, it's not getting cheaper any day to do this project.
No. I think there's other forms of transit that we can look at that will serve our community well, but I just don't see how
you and I went down to
Joby.
Yeah,
Joby's
right?
awesome.
We went down to Joby. And
They're training pilots right now.
Shit, fly whenever you want.
I bet Joby would probably cost the same as riding the train.
Yeah, maybe in like 100 years.
I don't know. I'm just saying, you know, it's
Have you seen them?
you and I have talked about this before. If we would have the proliferation of electric bikes today, as we had seen when we first started discussing the corridor, it would be an electric vehicle corridor.
Just make sure you understand. We're not busting your balls.
No, I get it.
No,
We're not. We love you. We love you for who
maybe
you
just
are.
a little bit,
And
'cause we love you,
We
but-
love you. Yeah, you
Makes me
suck.
feel warm and fuzzy.
And yeah, I will publicly say I do bust your balls. I busted your balls over the bike lane out here. Yeah, remember that?
Come on.
Yeah, I did.
Was that the biggest fuck up you ever made?
Well, I mean, look,
Top
no
five.
one's...
Top five fuck ups.
Yes. Okay, are you happy now, Neil? You happy? Yes. I mean, but you know what? It was like a 30-day...
Come on, dude.
So,
It was the biggest
Like, it was a
shit show.
temporary. It was not a permanent
I know.
problem, right?
Well, you know what? You throw spaghetti on the wall, right?
You know, it
People
took.
didn't like
You know what
it?
though?
Okay,
It took
temporary.
balls. It took balls. And you had them.
Well,
It
and
took-
also, I give
it
you
took
credit
balls.
right now for just saying, yeah, I fucked up on that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I wish more people in positions of leadership could admit that, you know, because everybody makes mistakes. I was actually the caretaker of all the broken plastic pieces.
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. So,
I had to volunteer for that.
yeah,
but-
no,
You were?
Well, because that's where
But you voted it. You
no,
voted it.
because I rented at that time. I had rented the place on the corner.
You got voted in.
Do you have any left? Like
I
already
don't. I
left?
actually
Like,
don't.
sign
Well,
those and-
I feel really guilty. I won't tell you this, but when you were dedicating it at
Yeah,
the party,
yeah.
I carried them all down there and threw them in there. And left them at your dedication.
You did?
I did.
What an
yeah.
asshole.
Well, it was recyclable. So I was like, you guys can recycle them.
You're a dick.
But I did. Besides that, that may be a low point. What's the highest point? What is like when your kids
I got the highest
are
point. I got the
when
highest
your
point.
kids
I got the
okay,
highest point.
you're second.
No.
When your kids are like 40 and they say, "Hey, Dad, when you were supervisor, what's number one?"
What was the best thing?
Yeah, and I know you have more coming, but like currently.
She was on Neil.
Well, yeah,
so
I mean, that's the thing. It's such a slow roll working in government. I mean, I am actually. I know this is going to sound funny, but I'm pretty stoked about the ban on cigarette butts.
Oh, yeah, that's
I
good.
have picked up so many damn butts, like as working with Save Our Shores as a sanctuary steward, and like, you know, this is nothing against anyone's freedom to smoke, but just like don't discard a
Right,
freaking impermeable piece of
I
plastic.
sweep my sidewalk
Yeah.
constantly. This gutter, where does that go?
Yeah.
Boom.
Out to the ocean.
Right.
And what's it full of? Cigarette butts.
Yep.
Constantly. The number one trash
Yeah.
that I sweep up out here is cigarette butts.
That's
So
right. And they all
thank
go
you
out
for
to the-
that.
I mean, so hopefully it causes, you know, a wave that goes around the world. And you know, the cigarette surfboard, which some local guys made, Taylor Lane, they've had great success going around the world at various film.
And winning.
Yeah, they're winning.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
hopefully this gives them some wind in their sails and really helps get the message out there, and more communities do the same thing.
Manu, we try and bust you. We try and bust your balls every show you come on, but every time we do a show with Manu, we love him, right?
Well, I love
Right?
that, you know, the cigarette butts, you know, there's bigger things. But to me, that's, the awareness to not smoke, the awareness to keep our beaches clean, the pollution,
It's all that.
the health risks, and the medical care it takes that it's inflicting on our community. I like that number one for you. I'll take it.
And it's just for now.
There's a lot.
You know, I think there's
Right.
a lot more coming.
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
you said.
Yeah.
But he owes us a lot of money too, by the way. He owes us a lot of money.
He does us money right now?
You have to review those accounts.
Yeah. He's like, oh shit.
Your staff right now, what's going on with your staff?
well,
Want to give some names to
Could be a
some
new
props?
staff member over here.
Well, Jamie Seahorn, actually, and yeah, Jamie's great. Grew up in Pleasure
Yeah,
Point.
right. Well, for
and,
sure, yeah.
You know, her two kids are out there shredding, like winning awards left and right. So Jamie's fantastic. She really takes the constituent side and really advocates for folks whether it's trying to build ADUs or
Right.
get road bumps put in. And then Shane McKeithen, also fantastic, is he actually lives in Watsonville, has lived in this community his whole life, and really does a great job.
Let me ask you a question. If you owned a house or several houses in this district, in our district, how would it be as far as vacation rental properties?
So we are taking.
Are you allowed to? Am I allowed to rent the houses out? Am I not allowed to rent the houses out?
You have a permit?
Do you have to have a permit to do that? Or what's?
You do have to have a permit, Neil. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't go rogue.
You don't go road.
Well,
Yeah.
you can go rogue until you get caught.
To go get a permit.
We're like a lot more likely to catch you these days, right? So.
Did you get caught?
You got to pay your
I'm not
transient
big
occupancy
rental.
taxes.
Oh, my friend Jen's friend got caught. My friend tonight talked to.
You got to pay your taxes, and you have to have a permit.
Hey, really? People have to pay taxes?
It's true.
I thought you can get away with that.
Well, here's the thing: we're using those taxes for good purposes. We're actually they helped to build Floral Park here, which we're doing ribbon cutting on Friday.
So congratulations again, Neil. I want to say the Floral Park on 38th Avenue is a fantastic park. Well, no, because that park is amazing. Yeah. I've been watching the change of it all, and was that something out of your wheelhouse? Were you responsible for getting that funding?
Well, like I said, I made sure that we took the money from the vacation rentals and filled the funding gap there to get it built.
So vacation rental money helped pay for that park?
That's right.
See, there you
because
go.
that's how it should be, right? I mean, obviously, we understand the vacation rentals have an impact on the neighborhoods. Like they should be giving back.
The people own the vacation rentals live here locally.
Some,
Okay.
right? I mean, and that's we're
so they're just fucked. They're just fucked.
Oh, why are you saying
we're
that?
We're updating the vacation rental ordinance right now to try to, provide a greater bias towards people who live in the community and who are more respectful of their neighbors, and ultimately to try to discourage like investment properties, right? People taking single-family homes, taking them, out of the housing stock and converting them to permanent vacation rentals.
Yeah.
Because that's a huge problem. The second homes are. I mean, we're trying to tax second homes right now. They're empty, right? That's sort of the wish list of things to do. But the problem is like don't keep homes empty. So
that measure failed in the city of Santa Cruz.
I know
right?
it did, absolutely right. But I feel like there should be the future of housing is there's too many people in our community that live in 4 and 5 bedroom houses and they're of retired couples, and it's all based over either the loss of their tax benefits of being a Prop 13 or whatever. Something needs to change in that more than vacation rental permitting. Empty second homes suck. I agree with that. We had Jimmy Panetta on the show. I know he's trying to spearhead a program to allow seniors who have these expensive houses to sell and be able to downsize and save the capital gains of that property.
Right.
That's a really important thing for seniors right now. Are we working on anything like that, or is that more of a state deal?
So there is a state proposition. I want to say it's State Prop 19 that passed I don't know, 4 years ago or something like that. 2 or 4 years ago, that basically lets people take their sort of property tax base, their lower base from whenever they bought their home, and transfer that into a new county, right? So they can downsize or move. The problem is Santa Cruz County is sort of a negative recipient of that, because what happens is people will sell in Santa Clara, sell in somewhere in the Bay Area, and move to Santa Cruz,
Carlos,
and they'll transfer a low property tax base here, and we won't basically get the full benefit of that sale and transfer.
Is it more important for beds or tax revenue?
Sorry.
Well, because if a couple with a 5 bedroom,
Oh.
you know what I mean? Like what's
You mean, are they sort of buying a 5 bedroom house that doesn't get used?
right? Yeah, there's that's a weird kind of concept.
I haven't seen those stats, but I will say it does impact tax revenue.
Right, I mean, I know I have many friends that are seniors now with empty nesters in homes that really should be full with families.
Yeah. Well, I mean, certainly encourage them to find a roommate, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things like. When I first got out of college, I was like, I don't want to live by myself. And you start feeling depressed, right? I mean, like, you're just all alone every night, and it's like, find yourself drinking more than you should be, right? And
thinking about surfing,
right. and then I got a roommate. I'm like, the space is not quite as clean as I would like, but you're overall happier because
Yeah.
just that social connection is so important.
Yeah.
So yeah, and if you've got extra bedrooms, by all means, like rent them out. There's programs that can help you find a roommate, particularly for seniors. In fact, you can find other seniors. It's really a thing that's help people be a lot happier and also make some income.
I saw
Don't you see?
the guy the CEO of Workbench.
Just talking about Tim
Gordon.
Yeah.
He just resigned. Is that true?
Right, as the first district planning commissioner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it? What's going on with that? What's your take on this?
Tim is really adamant about building housing, and I appointed him as the first district planning commissioner, like when I first took office.
He's local.
Yeah, he's a local
Yeah,
guy.
he's the CEO of Workbench.
Look what Toby Coy had to say.
Well, no, but I'm just curious of your take on this because I know this is kind of new.
Yeah.
It just happened. I don't really know much myself.
Yeah, and Tim knows the state housing laws really well, right? I mean, to his credit. And again, is passionate about building housing. Two great things I figured would make a great planning commissioner. And he's served our district well for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Within the last year, Tim has definitely become, and Workbench in general, I would say, have become a fairly political figure themselves.
Yeah.
And so, I actually just today appointed a new planning commissioner because I want people to trust in the process, know that, hey, we're not trying to like subvert anything or sell the town. And so I appointed an architect, Shane Pavonetti, who's, actually...
Is
this breaking news right now?
Yeah.
I suppose it is.
Okay, breaking news, everybody.
That's why you're listening to the show. Right?
Yeah.
He will really help bring actually the kind of lens we were talking about of like how do we help property owners, people who've lived in this community for decades, to improve their home, improve the process, and also make sure that the projects that do get developed have a little bit more of an architectural care to enhance our community.
And I think that's, from what I've seen, maybe what Workbench hasn't done well, based on community feedback, is that we need more detail to our architecture and not just like the boxes that are kind of currently going up, in my opinion. Just saying,
Yeah.
And so I think that's important because I feel like I don't know him. I know he's responsible for some big projects that a lot of old time locals are frown upon for the results of what's being built.
Yeah.
And so and again, this is new. I have not done research on this, folks, but I do know he just resigned. Pretty close to. Was it recent that this happened?
Yeah, I mean, this is within the last month, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, when I met Tim, the biggest project Workbench had was 15 units over here on SoCal Drive, right? The dwellings.
So it's grown a lot.
So it's like I said, really, this has been their breakout year.
Yeah.
In terms of proposing the Clock Tower project and many other projects, and I mean, I think that state law has allowed them to do a lot of this, but there's definitely ways I think they could work with the community a little bit more tactfully at times.
Right.
Anyway, like I said, I thought it was clearly time to have a different planning commissioner.
And so having an architecture on there, to me, as a sort of just like local who likes to see things aesthetically beautiful, feels like a good fit, right?
I hope so. I think so too. Yeah, I mean, what kind of architecture would you like to see more of in Santa Cruz?
Unfortunately, my architecture costs money.
Well, see, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why so much of what you're seeing is a little bit more.
Yeah, and so
basic.
I get it. It's money's money, and so if you're going to be like, should we put copper on here, or for no money we can put aluminum up here? Then you get aluminum. It's because it's all about the profits. So I get that, but I would hope that our town could get. I like how Santa Barbara has been very on point with a look that they would hope to establish in their town. I feel like they've done a good job.
It needs to be where people feel comfortable about coming downtown. Families who live in the area feel comfortable coming downtown.
I mean, and so
that's it.
Totally agree, and I agree. We want a beautiful town.
Right.
The challenge with Santa Cruz, I mean, and ultimately the beauty is that we are such a panoply, such a mismatch of styles. I mean, we are literally like where South and North meet, right? And so it's totally appropriate to have Spanish architecture here,
It's why you're here
or
tonight.
Victorian architecture. Yeah, that's
Right?
You
It's
sure?
You're district supervisor,
And-
number one. Right?
and
Yeah.
I would
honestly
honestly blame that
politicians
on
like
like
to do
1970s Santa Cruz planning for not having a vision of what of a future of like it all came from the same mother type thing. And I know that some people might say, TC, you're high to think that, but I feel like
TC people took it for granted. They just after the earthquake in '89, they didn't know what to think. They just no one had no idea what to think about after the earthquake. They just built it how it was built before.
I mean, but we've got some beautiful Victorians in this town.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
some
When
along
Redwood was
West
Redwood,
Cliff or,
yeah.
Ocean View, and yeah, exactly the Redwood, and yet also that kind of Santa Barbara, beach vibe feels great here as well, Spanish style. I mean, so it's just hard to. I mean, again, that's what makes Santa Cruz great.
You're not gonna have us 3, 4, maybe. We'll have the same conversation 5 years from now.
Okay.
or
Well,
40
looking forward
years
to
from
it.
now.
Yeah.
You know, like
How about next year?
Hey,
You
it'll be the sixth time around
You
the show.
enjoy the pregame shit, right?
Hey, it was.
Pregame on off the left.
You're just constantly iterating and improving this show. It's true.
We are.
If there's one thing you want to get done in 2025, what is it?
Get the fucking rocks out of fucking 38th Avenue.
That's right,
Hey,
Neil.
go down there and adopt
God,
your rock, and we'll
I'll
talk
tell you,
about
here
it.
we
The Adopt
Maybe.
a Rock program. Yeah.
Can you, hey, I guarantee
Here we
you,
go.
you can sell 6 rocks.
Dude,
I know you can.
I'm going to sell 6 rocks?
Yeah, you're going to
I
get
need
you
6
and 5
rocks.
friends to name a rock, and you're going to move them, and they'll
Yeah.
be there forever.
Manu,
We'll put a
would you
plaque on
mind-
it.
Would you mind getting a big tractor over there with a big... I'm removing some of the rocks off of 38th
Yeah.
Avenue
Hey,
stairs.
do you remember that the Coastal
go down
Commission's
I'll
going
talk
to
about it in the
tell you
permit.
that right
You
now?
go down the stairs and you're likely you have your life in your own hands.
Yeah. How about I get you a wire brush? You can go scrub them off. Get them
Yeah.
off. We'll
Hey.
do a volunteer day. I mean, we
Is
can
that the best you can do? Is you telling me to get a wire brush?
No, I'll get it for you. It's a Christmas present. I'll look
You
into
got,
it. But
you
I'm
got
just
socks
saying,
to
you
hang
have
on,
asked-
wait. You get socks to me, and I get a wheel brush.
Yeah,
I get a wire brush.
seems pretty fair.
Hey, it's a workout.
Yeah.
Manu, a friend of mine said he had a hard
We
time
not- we
calling
not-
you.
Okay.
Yeah, so just he might be watching. That's my friend Brandon. He said that he had a hard time calling you.
Owen?
Right now, is there a phone number people can call you
Yeah.
at? And not your personal cell phone, but your office number?
Yeah, I believe it's 831-454-2200.
Okay.
Is the office number.
And so people who are watching-
Or first.district at santacruzcountyca.gov. Both good ways to get a hold of me.
What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Probably to email the office.
Email the office?
District at santacruzcountyca.gov because that goes to me and both my analysts, which means there's just
Give me
more
20
people.
bucks. Give me
Yeah.
$20. I will give out your phone number.
Give Neil 20. Get the cell phone
Give me
number.
20
Yeah,
bucks.
we talked about
Give me
this.
20 bucks. Give me 20 bucks, Manu. I won't give out your phone number.
Well, he lives over on Park. Well, he's in SoCal.
He's bitching and moaning. And
No, but my point being is like a lot of times when we have
Hey,
people that are in charge of land and of being a representative, the constituents have a hard time
absolutely.
reaching
And
you.
I
you
do,
know?
and I do have office hours first Wednesday of every month at the Sheriff Center, 5200 SoCal Avenue. So that's a great opportunity for walk-in. Just don't have to make an appointment or anything. But yeah, no, of course, I really would love to talk to him.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
well, that's important.
Here's my last question for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Ready? My last question for you. I'm done with you. Okay, fuck you. Here you go.
It wasn't rock on still.
I want to know what your favorite Marianne's Oski flavor is.
what is it? 1020.
1020.
It's pretty damn
What's
good.
yours?
Heaven.
Oh, what's heaven?
It's just heaven. You just
A
take
mixture
one-
of stuff?
Just take a bite out of it, and you're like, God
You
damn.
can't
this is
even
heaven.
describe it. It's just that good.
We didn't give you shit.
All right.
Manu, thanks for coming back.
Yeah.
Number 4. How are we tonight? We're okay? It's all good?
Oh yeah.
You still like
10
us?
out of 10.
TC,
Okay.
we did a lot with we are huge politicians this year.
Oh, there was a big election
Fred,
cycle. Yeah, for
Kristen
sure.
Brown.
Yeah.
I drank whiskey and got fucked up, pissed her off. She's now
That's
ghosting.
true, huh?
She's now ghosting my ass.
No, it was good. It was a good election cycle. How did
Yeah, we
you,
had
how did
a
you
lot.
feel about? I mean, I know there's nationally a big change, but like regionally, are you happy with what happened?
Yeah, I think overall pretty positive. I'm excited about both Kim and Monica coming in as new supervisors.
Yeah.
You know, like the 1st, 2nd, and 5th district, we really represent like the unincorporated area, and so like we have a different understanding of the needs. I'm looking forward to having a couple supervisors who are really eager to improve some of the housing things. Roads, etc.
Yeah.
I mean, then even like the passage of Measure Q was huge.
There's a pothole on a Trout Gulch. I know its name. It has a fucking name.
Oh, what's its
The
name?
pothole?
What is its
Pothole.
name? Is its name TC?
It's going.
Watch out for that TC on that pothole.
Oh, let's not worry about the dildo when you Mexican
Easy,
say-
Tiger.
Well,
Yeah, Monty, we might have to exit on that one. But I will like to say, you're an important voice for people in District 1 who don't have a voice. You are their voice.
Yep.
And so I would hope that, I know you do, look out for everybody as best you can. If you have a problem with him, you can reach him via email or call the office.
or office hours.
Yeah, and you can work out your differences because you do have a voice. It's him. And
Right.
you are open to discussions about what people's needs are.
Absolutely.
I like that about politics, folks. So reach out to Manu if you got some stuff.
The one thing, whenever I ask him to come on the show, he always says yes. He always says yes.
Do you want me to start playing a little harder to get?
No, because I know you won't. You know why? Because you have a kid.
What are you saying? Send me home.
I need to go have a couple of cocktails with the boys.
There we go. Manu, thanks for being here
Oh, yeah,
again
it's my
tonight.
pleasure, TC.
I always appreciate you coming on the show. You are our District 1 supervisor, and I hope that the next 4 years go great for you.
Thank you. Yeah, pleasure to be your public servant.
I appreciate
You
you
are.
very much. Yeah.
Thanks,
Well,
man. Yeah, we'll get those rocks taken care of.
yeah, no, don't forget his rock.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to adopt that rock. And we did talk briefly before we go. If anybody wants to adopt a memorial planter, can they reach out to you?
That is actually a real program. Yeah.
Yeah, so
if you see a planter along the sidewalk that you want to help adopt, put some plantings in. Now's a great time because it's the winter. You can get those tap roots super deep.
Right.
Yeah, reach out to my office. We can help get you signed up.
If you want to adopt a planter or a spot to garden for a loved one, email the office. I love that idea.
Yeah, we'll get you a plaque.
We'll put a
Email
plaque
his
up there.
or
And your
OTL.
family can always have a spot to drive by and smile for a loved one.
Right.
We'll make our town just-
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas.
Manu, thanks for being here. Neil, great show tonight.
Good show, bud.
The man, District 1, supervisor, in the house. We will see you next week. Who's next week?
No idea.
No idea.
Oh, no.
We'll see you then.
o'clock.
Good night, everybody. Woo!